Hello, welcome to Vintage Iron and Restoration, and also home of High Velocity Engines. My name's John Spencer. I'm here with my partner, Mark Scalpone. We're going to give you a tour of the shop here in just a minute, but I thought I'd just share a little history on the company. Vintage Iron was started about 10 years ago. Mark actually started it in his home garage. He had about 20 years in the auto repair industry, and he had a desire to just focus exclusively on muscle cars, classics, vintage cars, and so forth. So Vintage Iron was born in Mark's garage. Things went very well, got off to a good start, and very quickly they moved into a full-fledged shop. About 5 years ago, we moved into this facility, which is about a 13,000 square foot facility here in the Scottsdale Air Park area. And that's about it for a little brief history. I'm going to pass it over to Mark. He can tell you a little bit more about the services we offer here at Vintage Iron and give you a quick tour of the shop. We'll swing back later to our High Velocity Engines part of the shop, and I'll pick it up there. And here's Mark.
Hi, I'd like to just take us on a little walkthrough tour of the shop here. Behind us we have a 56 Nomad that came from Kansas, and we've done a bunch of little things for it. It's going to get a front end alignment, and we'll be done with that, and it'll be shipped back. It'll be cleaned up and shipped back to Kansas. We've got a Shelby 66 here, all original. We rebuilt the motor for the Copper State Rally, did some various maintenance on it, and it's back now getting some other things, gauges put in, and we get projects in like this pickup truck that you know, we're putting a different shifter in it, different upgrades, doing the brakes, putting a booster on it. We do rewiring to Chevelle up on the hoist there. We're going to be doing an engine on that. That also came from Kansas, same owner. So if we can walk into the back room here, we're doing a 57 Chevy here with air conditioning we're putting in it. We rebuilt the motor. We've got a Pontiac Trans Am back here that has also been a frame-on restoration. So as I mentioned before, we're putting air conditioning in this car. We did an HVE, did rebuild the motor. It's a dual quad 283, which makes it kind of a special 57. But the customer does want to drive it, so we're putting the air in it so that they got a little creature comforts.
So we're just on the other side of the shop here from what you were seeing with Vintage Iron. So let's take a tour. I'll show you the machine shop area and where the work is getting done. As you can see, we've got it laid out. We've got our sun and cylinder head machine here. So doing valve guides and valve jobs, and you know, all our cylinder work pretty much is taking place over here. Back there we have our valve grinding machine. While I'm here, just let me point out, Dave just did a wonderful job porting these 392 early Hemi heads. This is going on a hot rod that we're going to show you a little bit later. He's got a lot of time into these things, but Dave's an expert engine porter. He's probably built a couple thousand engines in his life, so he's very good with this stuff. Over here, this is another one of our employees, Tyler. He's doing a tear down on a 396, 375 horsepower Chevelle motor. That was the Chevelle I think we showed you earlier. Over here a little bit to the right, we've got our sun and connecting rod reconditioning machine. A little further to the right here, we've got our sun end machine where we're cutting the caps before we rebuild the connecting rods. Over here, we've got our honing machine. Here we have a 308 twin-H 6-cylinder engine out of a 53 Hudson Hornet, one of the most powerful engines of its day. We're getting ready to do the machine work on this engine. And here is the same engine with the machine work done and most of the assembly work completed. Here's the cylinder head that goes with this engine. And finally, here are some shots of the 53 Hudson Hornet where we will be installing the engine. The owner had it painted like a vintage race car, paying tribute to Marshall Teague. a very successful race car driver in the early 50s who raced Hudson Hornets.
Thanks, John. We're just standing outside the machine shop area, and this is the spot where we can have the capabilities of making parts from scratch that we can't buy anymore. We do have a lathe and a mill, our welding equipment. We do fabrication on sheet metal, and on this 34 Ford, the hood and the grill were made from scratch. We chopped the top.
That's about it for today. Thanks for watching, and please keep Vintage Iron in mind for any repair, maintenance, or restoration needs. And we also hope you'll consider high velocity engines if you have any engine machining or assembly needs. We've got a great team here, about a dozen guys who are very passionate about classic cars. We drive them, we race them, we love them. Even when we're home on the weekends, we're usually wrenching on our personal projects because it's just a way of life for us. Give us a call if you'd like a personal tour of our facility. We'd be happy to oblige. And you can give us a call at 480-922-2480. We hope to see you soon. Thanks.